Guys, welcome to the first episode of Let's Make an RPG. What we're going to do is pretty much go from point A to finish on making an RPG and figuring out what we want to do and how we want to set it up. And you'll notice I'm at the main menu, which means I don't even have my world yet. What we want to do is first decide what we're going to think about with our worlds. When you go to play and then you make your world, before you choose creative or dig deep or anything, you want to decide, do you want the players to be able to gain life, or do you want them to have to heal with an item in order to gain the life? That's important, because in creative mode, you cannot get legendary. Legendary combat difficulty, it makes it so you have to heal with an item. So the only way you can get that is in dig deep or survival. So now you have a choice. Dig deep's maps, they are smaller. They are 512 by 512 on the surface, and they run down about 2,000 or 3,000 deep. On survival, it's the same dimensions as a creative map. So if you want it wider on the surface, you're going to pick survival. If you want it smaller, more centralized, but very deep, you're going to choose dig deep. After you do that, then it'll tell you, do you want desert, grasslands, whatever. I'm going to pick grasslands because I like to build my own terrain. If you don't, you might want to go with semi-alpine or desert, whichever one you prefer. And then up here on difficulty, you want to switch that to legendary. That will make it so so every player has to use an item to gain their life. Otherwise, you could put it on easy or normal or peaceful if you chose dig deep or creative. So after you choose that, you're going to start the game. After it loads up, then you're going to actually quit the game while saving it. And then once you get back to the menu where you choose the difficulty, you're going to switch the game mode to creative. Once you do that, it will keep the legendary difficulty, but the game will now be on creative instead of whatever you picked it on to begin with. So if we save and quit, it takes a while to save, even for a new map. But now if we host that game, and we go to where it says game mode and we switch that to creative, it will convert it to a creative world, but we'll still have the difficulty of legendary. And you can also change your attribute to whatever you want. Because I don't have anything on, I'm going to switch it to work in progress. And then when you push start game, it'll ask you, do you want to convert it? Once you convert it, it pretty much makes it so, since it's now a creative map, you can't unlock unlockables on the map. But that's okay because we're building a RPG on it. And then once this loads up, we can begin on deciding what we want our RPG to be. Now, you'll notice we spawn in exactly where we were on the survival, except for this time we have creative abilities. Now what you want to do is, before you even build anything or decide where your spawn is, let's say that this is our map. If this is our whole map, we have to decide, okay, what is our game going to be focused on? Are we going to have them spawn right in the middle, that be the main town, where, okay, you go out, do a quest over here, and come back to the main town to turn it in, like this would be the central shop? Or do we want to have it a linear quest, where they start here, then they maybe walk up to this town, walk here, here, and then here, and here at the end? So after you decide that, then you can actually begin building your spawn. So let's say we go with the middle one, and this is the main town, and maybe there's a town over here, and here. And then it's pretty much whatever you prefer. It's the same thing. You can always, if you have this one where they go through the line, you can always have a teleport from this one over to this one. You know, like a fast travel system. So it doesn't matter too much. But if you put your spawn right in the middle of the map, that's more for like an open world, you just go around, do your own thing kind of setup. I find it's easier to control the player, though, if you have it a linear, because you can actually build it as you go, which that actually works out best for being able to host it sooner, because you can actually build like your own hills and kind of channel them as they go. But in an open world, you've got the spawn point and then you've got everywhere else to go. So after you decide that, you can build your spawn and get that started. You also want to kind of choose which style you want. By that I mean, do you want to use guns? Do you want to use swords? So I'm going to pause it, go to Game and Options and Item Options, and you'll notice there's a little red X on the mob spawner. That's because you can't use that in survival. And I'm going to enable all my guns. Now I get to choose, okay, if I'm going to do magic, I have stabs. If I'm going to do a modern RPG, I've got guns. It's really up to you, but I would say go with what you can build best. Like, I've got this huge medieval pack, so I would probably go with a medieval one. And for medieval, it'd be more fantasy, swords, magic, and stuff. You can also go modern. It's just really whatever you can build, that's what you need to go with. Modern would be more guns and with cars and stuff like that. After you've got that decided, we can start building our spawn. In the next video, I will show you how to make an effective spawn that kind of captures what you're trying to go for.